In this video guide, we're going to work with the clear and float attributes in CSS in HTML, working with Dreamweaver. So I'm going to use Dreamweaver, but you can do this with any other type of HTML editor. And I'm going to create a new HTML document. If you don't know how to do like basic things, I suggest you have a look to the Dreamweaver course that we have in the channel. So I'm just going to go specific here. I want to test and try with the CSS. So I'm going to define it in the page, and I'm going to start to create selectors to test the floats and the clear attributes. And so I'm going to use here the class. So I'm going to go and create a new selector for each one of the attribute that I want to test. So float right, float left, then create another one, and the other one is going to be clear right, and then clear left, and then clear both. And to create a class, you need to just type the dot and then the name of the class that you're creating. So remember, this is a class, not an ID. And the difference is explained again in the course. So once we have everything ready, we can start to apply the attribute and then do some tests, run some tests on the page in the live view here in Dreamweaver, which is really handy. So I'm gonna just apply here for each one of these class the attribute that I want to try. So you can see here everyone is gonna have a single attribute. So we can test those classes one by one, and you can run your own test. This is just to show you also kind of a technique that you can use to test any attribute that you have in Dreamweaver. Let's add an image. Now you can use the float and clear with images, you can use them with texts, and you can use them also with divisions. So they have little differences, but just to do a quick example here, this is going to be fine. So I'm going to have an image and I'm going to have a text, and then I can test. So I'm just going to type text, and let's use this as a heading. And by the way, also heading, they have their own like behavior when talking about CSS and HTML. So I'm gonna use image, I'm gonna use text, and let's try to do something. I'm just gonna copy them. I'm gonna copy here the image, copy and paste. So Control C, Control V. You can do it directly in the live part, or you can do it in the code part. So I'm gonna copy and paste these elements, which are now floating in the standard way in the page, which is like from left to right, and then they go down. They start to occupy other lines, or you can just press enter, and that defines another line. So every time you press enter and you define another paragraph or another text heading or another except for the images that they go in that other flow, but the other elements, they just push the other elements down. And that's kind of a clear behavior in a way. So kind of a clear both behavior. But now we can try to do something here with the classes. You can see in the properties panel, now we can access the class and we can apply the class, and we can try to force a different behavior that the components usually have. So if I say float right, for example, here the text is not going to go in the left, it's going to go in the right. And if I continue to apply float right, you can see that the elements will not go from left to right, but all the other way around, from right to left. So this is kind of overriding the standard behavior of elements. Float left is going to be the standard in a way, but you can see what happens here. They are all in the same line. So when you use float, it's usually to put more elements on the same line. When you use clear, it's usually to push the element on another line, on another row. So that's generally how everything works here with float and clear, but you can start to do some tests. You can see here, clear both means it's going to go down, whether it has like elements on the left or on the right. Clear left is only going to care about the element on the left. Clear right is only going to take care of the elements in the right. And that's basically it. So now it's just a matter of testing out different solutions here, play around with the various classes that we created, And it's really easy to do this because we just go in the properties here and change and see what's going to happen if, I use the clear left or the clear right or the float left, float right, etc., etc. There you go. So we can continue here with the text. We can also do some experiments with other elements like divs, containers, and images and other, HTML or CSS. So I'm going to do this float right, and you can see the image goes on the right. And all this text now that was previously on the right has been pushed towards the middle of the page because I'm floating the elements on the right and they push the other elements on the left, and until I clear and I push them down. So if I float this to the left, to the right, or to the left, I can now like interact with text and images together, and they have all the different results. So let me float this into the left, and apparently nothing happens here. So I need to, well, that float left is kind of a standard behavior, so doesn't make much difference here. But if I change this is, or it doesn't have a class applied yet, so let's apply a class to everything. So let's apply here like float left, and this one here also float left, and now they are all this one here also floats left, and now you can see the text just went up. So again, it's just a matter of, so many situations that you can find in changing these classes. So my opinion, my suggestion is just go for your website that you're creating. But at the moment that you have problems in positioning the elements that are not essentially divs, but they are like a series of images or a series of images and text, that you may want to go here and try the different solutions with clear and with float, etc., etc. Now to see also the behavior, and by the way, you can also click and drag elements in the page and change the position of them here with the live mode in Dreamweaver, which is really handy to position things around. Well, especially if they are divs. But you can see that it just changed the position. That image just changed the position, just went in there. So we can try different classes and see if we can fix that or change again. Now I want to delete everything. Just want to use text. Sorry, just want to delete the text and use images, just to show you what's going to happen in the standard situation. So if I insert the image here without assign any class, I'm just gonna change the dimension. Okay, I'm just gonna copy and paste this many times. So since we are working now in responsive environments, we cannot just have a look to a static situation. We need to change the size of the page. So let me just float left now and float right without clear. Okay, and this is gonna go float right. And let's apply also, well, let's apply a clear. Now, as you can see, nothing is happening at the moment if I do clear left, clear right. So only if I float, we can see something, not if I clear. But now let's preview this and change the dimension. So look what happens when I don't have enough space, when the image that has clear goes down. And the others, the float left and the right, they try to adapt to the new space. So this is what I was telling about, considering the responsive of your website and the various size of the web browser or the web page, because they're going to have different behavior according to the clear and the floats class that we will assign. So be careful not only in the static situation, just run a test and see how your website in general, but also the various floating elements they behave. If I delete everything, every class, float and clear class that I created, and just show you what happens, this is a standard flow of the page, the normal flow, which tends to go You see from left to right, and then it pushes elements just vertically one after the other in different rows. So I guess this will be enough for this guide. I hope you enjoyed it. If you did, subscribe to the channel to stay updated. If you want to support us, please join the channel as a supporter. Thanks. See you in the next video.